Hey, Niners fans. Welcome back to the ultimate San Francisco 49ers update, where we break down all the latest news and developments surrounding our team. August is always a pivotal month in the NFL, and this year is no different. Tomorrow marks a crucial deadline for all 32 teams in the league, as rosters must be trimmed from 90 players down to 53. That means a lot of tough decisions, and the Niners have already started making some significant moves to shape their team for the season ahead. San Francisco has been methodical in their approach, taking deliberate steps to balance talent, depth, and potential upside. They've been actively monitoring the waiver wire, watching for players who might become available after cuts from other organizations. At the same time, the team remains open to trades and strategic acquisitions in free agency, always keeping an eye on opportunities to improve key positions without disrupting the chemistry of the roster they've built over the past few seasons. One of the stories that caught a lot of attention recently involved wide receiver Amari Cooper. After his free agency period, Cooper decided to sign with the Las Vegas Raiders, returning to the team where he began his NFL career. While there were rumors of interest from several organizations, including the 49ers, the decision ultimately came down to playing time and fit. Cooper wanted to join a team where he could step in immediately and be a focal point in the offense. The Raiders provided that opportunity with a clear path to targets and a familiar environment, making it an appealing choice. From the 49ers' perspective, their wide receiver core is already strong and relatively healthy, so adding an external veteran like Cooper would have limited impact once all starters return from injury. While the team is always looking to improve, they also prioritize maintaining a balanced roster where each player has a clear role. In addition to watching external moves, the Niners have been making decisive cuts internally as they prepare for the 53-man roster. Among the notable releases are quarterbacks Carter Bradley and Tanner Morai. While Morai showed significant promise during the preseason, displaying better arm strength, mobility, and decision-making than Bradley, both players are still likely candidates for the practice squad. San Francisco is managing these cuts strategically, ensuring that they can maintain depth at quarterback while also creating space for other positions that require attention. It's a delicate balancing act, especially when injuries are always a factor in shaping the active roster. Defensively, the team has also made several adjustments. Defensive lineman Jalen Allen and Shaquille Brown were waived, while running back Keshawn Vaughn was released as the team finalized its backfield. With Christian McCaffrey, Brian Robinson, Isaac Rendo, and Jordan James forming the likely running back rotation, the Niners are building a mix of established talent and developmental potential. Brian Robinson, acquired from Washington in a recent trade, is expected to be a physical complement to McCaffrey. Known for his power running and ability to absorb contact, Robinson adds durability and a new dimension to the offense. In practice, he's already demonstrating the skills that made the team pursue him, running with authority and showcasing the kind of production that can turn a good offense into an elite one. The offensive line has been another area of focus. Rookie Drew Moss has impressed throughout the preseason with consistent, high-level performance at guard. There's a strong possibility the Niners will prioritize keeping him on the active roster, as his play could attract attention from other teams if he were left unprotected. Alongside Moss, rookie undrafted free agent Sebastian Valdez has shown potential and could be another key piece to develop along the line. The Niners' approach to the offensive front is careful and deliberate, balancing immediate readiness with the opportunity to nurture young talent who can contribute in the present and future. In terms of injuries, there have been some encouraging developments. Rookies Mule Williams and C.J. West returned to practice after recovering from hyperextended knees. Both are expected to play significant roles on the defensive side in the upcoming season. Defensive end Mike Williams lined up opposite Nick Bosa, with Alfred Collins also participating in drills. The team is working to integrate these players fully while managing minutes and ensuring they return to full health for the regular season. Right guard Dominic Hahn is also progressing well from a PCL sprain, moving through conditioning and rehab with the hope of being ready for the season opener. Wide receiver Jawan Jennings is another player to watch. He has been out since late July due to a calf injury, and discussions regarding his contract extension are ongoing. The team is being cautious, balancing negotiations with their immediate needs on the field. Historically, San Francisco has taken a firm stance on holdouts and contract disputes, especially given lessons learned from past seasons involving key players. The situation with Jennings is one to monitor closely, as it could impact the depth and rotation at wide receiver early in the season. Other players who did not practice today include Upton Stout, Kalia Davis, Demarcus Robinson, and Russell Gage. While there are no specific updates, the coaching staff continues to evaluate performance, recovery, and readiness for the upcoming games. Slot and outside receiver positions remain competitive, with players like Trey Brown and Chase Lucas vying for playing time based on performance in the preseason and practice. Every practice and preseason game counts towards securing a spot on the roster and making an impact once the season begins. The Niners front office has been active behind the scenes as well. General Manager John Lynch has spent extensive time evaluating options, speaking with agents, and coordinating trades to ensure the team remains competitive. Recent acquisitions, including Skyyor and Brian Robinson, highlight the organization's commitment to strengthening the roster strategically. These moves are designed not only to fill immediate needs, but also to provide versatility and depth that will be critical once the regular season begins. All of this activity comes against the backdrop of a challenging NFL landscape where injuries, performance fluctuations, and team dynamics constantly reshape rosters. San Francisco is methodical in its approach, understanding that each move has ripple effects across the roster. From the offensive line to the secondary, every player's role is carefully assessed, with an eye toward balancing readiness with long-term development. The team's philosophy emphasizes preparation, adaptability, and ensuring that each player who makes the roster contributes meaningfully, whether as a starter, rotational player, or practice squad member poised to step in when needed. In practice sessions, the Niners are integrating their new players while reinforcing fundamentals with returning veterans. Defensive linemen, wide receivers, and running backs are all part of a structured plan designed to prepare the team for Week 1. Young players are being developed alongside seasoned veterans, and coaches are carefully monitoring workload to prevent injuries while ensuring maximum preparation. The mix of experience and youth is critical for sustaining performance across a long, grueling NFL season. The Niners are not only focused on the present, but are also keeping an eye on the future. Evaluating rookies, young players, and undrafted free agents allows the organization to identify talent that can contribute immediately while also developing into long-term contributors. Balancing established veterans with emerging talent is a delicate art, and San Francisco's front office is navigating it carefully, ensuring the roster has the right mix of skill, depth, and potential to compete at a high level throughout the season. Now, let's dive even deeper into the roster and talk about some of the positional battles they're shaping up as the Niners prepare for the regular season. One of the most intriguing competitions is at wide receiver, where the mix of veterans, emerging talent, and rookies is creating a dynamic and competitive environment. While players like Brandon Ayuk, Deebo Samuel, and Christian Watson have established roles, there are several younger receivers and undrafted free agents pushing for meaningful snaps. Chase Lucas, for example, has had a strong showing in preseason games, particularly in outside coverage and route precision. His consistency and ability to read defenses quickly have earned him attention from coaches, and he could be a key rotational player depending on matchups and injuries throughout the season. The slot receiver position is also under the microscope. Upton Stout has been recovering from a minor injury, and the timing of his return will be critical for the offensive scheme. The coaching staff values versatility at this position, with the ability to create mismatches against linebackers and nickel corners. Renardo Green and Diameter Leonard are competing for reps as well, demonstrating sharp route running and reliable hands in practice. The depth in the slot allows the Niners to rotate players strategically, keeping opponents guessing and minimizing wear and tear on top performers. This versatility is one of the reasons the team can afford to take calculated risks with roster moves, knowing that they have capable backups who can step in and produce. Moving to the running back group, the addition of Brian Robinson brings a new element to the backfield. Robinson is a physical, punishing runner who complements Christian McCaffrey's more elusive style. With McCaffrey's history of injuries, it was essential for San Francisco to acquire a player who can handle a significant workload without compromising production. Robinson's arrival immediately changes the dynamic of the offense, providing a more balanced attack that can thrive both on the ground and through play-action passing. In practice, he has shown the ability to absorb contact, break tackles, and make decisive cuts, demonstrating why the front office prioritized bringing him on board. Jordan James and Isaac Rendo remain integral parts of the rotation as well, offering depth, special teams contributions, and developmental upside. The offensive line remains a focus area, particularly with the ongoing evaluation of rookies and young contributors. Drew Moss has consistently impressed with his combination of strength, technique, and football IQ, making him a strong candidate to secure a roster spot. Sebastian Valdez, another undrafted free agent, has flashed potential, showing the ability to adapt quickly to professional schemes and absorb coaching corrections. San Francisco's approach to the line is strategic. They aim to protect the quarterback while also establishing a strong running game. The balance between experience and youth is key, as it allows the team to address immediate needs while fostering long-term stability at positions that are notoriously difficult to maintain at a high level. Quarterback depth is another critical topic as the Niners finalize their roster. With Brock Purdy leading the charge and M. Jones positioned as the backup, the third quarterback spot remains fluid, with both Carter Bradley and Tanner Morai likely candidates for the practice squad. Morai, in particular, has shown impressive poise, arm strength, and decision-making during the preseason, making him a viable emergency option if needed. Managing the quarterback room is about more than just talent. It's about chemistry, adaptability to the offensive system, and readiness to step in without disrupting the flow of the game. The coaching staff has been deliberate in balancing these factors, ensuring that all three quarterbacks are prepared for any scenario that may arise during the season. On defense, the Niners have made considerable adjustments to their line rotation and secondary depth. Defensive linemen Jalen Allen and Shaquille Brown were waived, reflecting the team's focus on creating roster flexibility and prioritizing players who can contribute immediately. Mike Williams has been a consistent presence opposite Nick Bosa, while Alfred Collins and C.J. West are continuing their development and integration into the starting rotation. Williams and West, despite missing time due to hyperextended knees, are expected to play significant roles in the 2025 season, particularly given their ability to generate pressure and anchor the interior line. San Francisco's defensive philosophy emphasizes speed, aggression, and adaptability, which means that players must be versatile, disciplined, and ready to adjust on the fly. Secondary coverage remains a mix of established veterans and emerging talent. The team is carefully evaluating cornerbacks, safeties, and nickel defenders to ensure they have the right combinations for different offensive schemes. Injuries and practice performance are closely monitored, with the coaching staff making incremental decisions to optimize matchups and maintain a high level of play throughout the season. Players like Trey Brown and Chase Lucas are competing for meaningful snaps, demonstrating the depth and flexibility necessary to withstand the challenges of a full NFL schedule. The secondary is a critical piece of the defensive puzzle, and San Francisco's approach underscores the importance of preparation, communication, and situational awareness in executing their game plan effectively. Linebacker and edge rusher positions are also receiving significant attention. The team wants to maximize pressure on opposing quarterbacks while maintaining sound coverage in the backfield. Rookies and younger players are being given opportunities to showcase their abilities in pass rush situations, run support, and coverage responsibilities. The coaching staff is focused on creating competition at every level, knowing that the intensity of practice and preseason games will translate into a stronger, more resilient unit during the regular season. Special teams play is another area where depth and versatility matter. Returners, coverage units, and kickers are all being evaluated with an eye toward consistency, reliability, and playmaking ability. San Francisco understands that special teams can determine field position and swing momentum, so players who can contribute in multiple roles are particularly valuable. Roster decisions often weigh heavily on special teams performance, as a player's ability to impact these situations can make the difference between securing a spot or being cut. But before we dive in, don't forget to subscribe to 49ers Zone and hit the like button on this video. Your support helps us keep bringing you the latest updates on the San Francisco 49ers. And don't forget to share your thoughts on the news in the comments below. In a move that has sent shockwaves through the sports world and ignited one of the most heated debates in recent NFL history, the San Francisco 49ers have reportedly secured the services of none other than Micah Parsons, the defensive superstar previously at the heart of the Dallas Cowboys' identity. While nothing has been made officially public in terms of the fine print of the deal, insiders close to both organizations insist that discussions have been ongoing for weeks under a veil of secrecy. What makes this development so startling is not only the magnitude of the player involved, but also the unexpected nature of the transaction itself, which has left fans, analysts, and even rival executives scrambling to make sense of the motives and potential consequences. Parsons, who has built a reputation as one of the league's most dominant defensive presences, was widely considered the cornerstone of the Cowboys' long-term future, making his sudden relocation to the Bay Area all the more baffling. Many are asking whether this move signals a seismic shift in the balance of power within the NFC, with the 49ers already boasting one of the most feared defensive units and now potentially elevating themselves to an entirely new echelon of dominance. The whispers began quietly on social media late last night, with cryptic posts and vague hints from individuals who have a history of leaking accurate football news, but they quickly erupted into a frenzy as more sources began to confirm that something monumental was unfolding. Fans of the Cowboys expressed disbelief, some calling it betrayal, others accusing the front office of negligence or short-sighted desperation. Meanwhile, 49ers supporters flooded message boards and group chats with jubilation, claiming that the addition of Parsons could be the missing piece that finally delivers them consistent supremacy not only in the NFC West, but also in the broader playoff picture. Commentators on television and radio this morning struggled to process the implications, with some analysts declaring that the 49ers have now assembled an almost impenetrable defensive core. Others, however, warned that star power does not always translate into seamless chemistry and pointed to historical examples where super teams failed to meet sky-high expectations. The Cowboys' decision, if confirmed, will raise serious questions about management strategy, locker room morale, and the future of their defense, which until now was built almost entirely around Parsons' unmatched versatility and ferocious playmaking ability. On the surface, it seems almost unfathomable that the Cowboys would let go of a player who has become synonymous with their modern identity. But deeper analysis suggests there may be layers to this decision that transcend football alone. Speculation ranges from potential contract disputes to behind-the-scenes friction with coaching staff, or even a long-term vision by the Cowboys leadership that prioritizes financial flexibility and offensive restructuring. There are whispers that Parsons himself may have grown restless in Dallas, frustrated by postseason shortcomings and eager for a new chapter with a franchise that has been consistently in the championship conversation. For the 49ers, this acquisition would not only fortify their defense, but also send a psychological message across the league. They're willing to do whatever it takes to dominate. Rival teams, especially those in the NFC, will now be forced to completely reconsider their offensive game plans, knowing that Parsons' disruptive presence could tilt matchups before they even begin. If this rumor is true, the Cowboys will have to answer for a decision that might haunt them for years, while the 49ers could find themselves holding one of the most enviable rosters in recent memory. As always in situations like this, money and power dynamics hover over the conversation, with insiders speculating about the financial mechanics that would make such a blockbuster acquisition possible. Parsons is no ordinary talent. His market value is astronomical, and for the 49ers to bring him in suggests either a massive reshuffling of contracts or an agreement so intricate that the details themselves will spark controversy once revealed. Some are already suggesting that draft capital, multiple star players, or both may have been involved in the exchange, which could redefine the short-term and long-term outlooks of both franchises. The financial gamble, however, might prove worthwhile for San Francisco, whose fans have long argued that the team has been one defensive playmaker away from becoming untouchable. In the age of instant reactions, sports talk shows and podcasts are feeding off the rumor with endless speculation, each analyst attempting to outdo the other with predictions and hot takes. Yet behind all the noise, the undeniable truth is that if Parsons has indeed switched allegiances, the narrative of this NFL season will never be the same. Every game, every snap, every defensive stand will be viewed through the lens of this colossal, unprecedented move. Even as fans and experts attempt to digest the full weight of this potential transfer, the ripple effects are already visible across the league, with rival coaches reportedly calling emergency meetings to reassess strategies. Offensive coordinators in particular are said to be poring over tape, knowing that Parsons' unique blend of speed, intelligence, and raw aggression has the power to dismantle even the most carefully crafted schemes. The psychological element cannot be ignored either, as teams preparing to face the 49ers may find themselves intimidated before stepping onto the field, aware that mistakes will almost certainly be punished. For the Cowboys, the fallout could be devastating in terms of fan loyalty and media scrutiny, especially if the team struggles to recover from losing their defensive anchor. Questions about ownership's commitment to winning will intensify, and the pressure on both the coaching staff and remaining players will skyrocket. Meanwhile, the 49ers could ride this wave of momentum into a historic season, cementing their reputation as a franchise unafraid of bold, risky, but potentially era-defining moves. Whether this rumor proves entirely true or merely partially accurate, its impact has already been felt in living rooms, sports bars, and locker rooms across America, with a name Micah Parsons now echoes with an entirely new resonance. That's it for this update. If you enjoyed the video and want to keep receiving exclusive news about the San Francisco 49ers, make sure to subscribe to 49ers Zone and give this video a like. We always look forward to hearing your comments and opinions. See you in the next video.